And we're not on this stage just because of talent or ability. We're up here because of 4 a.m. We're up here because of 2-a-days or 5-a-days. We're up here because we had a dream and let nothing stand in our way. If anything tried to bring us down, we used it to make us stronger. We were never satisfied, never finished, will never be retired. My high school English teacher, Mr. Fisk, I actually paid attention one time in class, and he said, he had this beautiful quote, and it read, "Rest at the end, not in the middle." And I took that to heart. I believe there's time for resting at the end, but for me, that time is not now. Thank you for this tremendous honor in acknowledging my basketball career, but I'm far from done. My next dream is to be honored one day for inspiring the next generation of athletes to have a dream, sacrifice for it, and never, ever rest in the middle.
After watching that film, I come to understand if I could work that hard every day, being blessed with the physical tools that I have, what would my career be? And I made a promise to myself from that day that I was going to work that hard every single day so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. But that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, and do that for 20 years, what do you have?
The Mamba never dies, because greatness doesn't vanish, it echoes. This isn't just the story of a basketball player. This is about a man who weaponized obsession, who turned pain into fuel, criticism into drive, and failure into a forge. Kobe Bryant didn't ask for permission. He took space, demanded excellence, defined legacy. This is the story of Kobe Bean Bryant, the Mamba, the myth, the legacy. Kobe wasn't born into greatness. He built it, brick by brick. As a kid growing up in Italy, while others chased soccer balls, he studied basketball tapes his grandfather mailed him from the States. He mimicked Hakeem's post moves, Jordan's footwork, Magic's vision, all before he hit puberty. By 13, he was back in the US, awkward, misunderstood, and obsessed. He'd show up to school at 5 a.m. just to get shots up, and when teammates went home, he stayed, practicing alone, until the janitor had to kick him out.
I was like, I'm gonna get there at 3 o'clock. And I want to make sure I make 400 made shots. Get in the car, get to the gym, get there, and as I'm walking onto the court, who do I see? I see Kobe Bryant, already working out. So I worked out for a good hour and a half. And when I came off, after I was done, I sat down, and of course I still heard the ball bouncing. I looked down, I'm like, this guy's still working out? It looks like he was in a dead sweat when I got here. Right. And he's still going. And it's not like his moves are nonchalant or lazy. He's doing like game moves, right. I sit there and I unlace my shoes. I'm like, I want to see how long this goes. So I sit out there and watch another 25 minutes. And he got done. I was like, okay, I think I've seen enough. Go play, come back, get in the sauna, get ready for the game. That game, he drops 40 on us. And after the game is over, I'm like, I have to ask this guy. Like, I have to understand why he works like that.
Right.
So after the games, I'm like, hey, Kobe, why were you in the gym for so long? He's like, because I saw you come in. And I wanted you to know that it doesn't matter how hard you work, that I'm willing to work harder than you.
He wasn't just talented, he was possessed. At Lower Merion, he shattered records and expectations. And when it came time for college, he skipped it, not out of arrogance, but certainty. He told his classmates he was going straight to the NBA, and he did. On draft night, he wasn't nervous. He was strategic. He and his agent made sure he landed in Los Angeles, where the lights were brightest. He was 17 years old, still living at home, still needing parental consent to sign his contract. But in his mind, he was already a star. He told teammates in Summer League, I'm not here to fit in, I'm here to take over. And from that moment on, the takeover began. Talent? That's the easy part. What separated Kobe was the work. He believed in outworking everyone, not just opponents, his own teammates too. In his early years with the Lakers, he was the youngest guy in the gym, but always the first to arrive. He'd challenge veterans to one-on-one after practice. He'd lift weights after games. He once spent an entire summer mastering his left hand, so defenders couldn't force him weak. His battles with Shaq, that wasn't drama. It was a clash of greatness, of two alpha dogs fighting for dominance. But while Shaq was the life of the party, Kobe was the killer in the dark. By 2002, the Lakers were a dynasty, 3 championships in 3 years. And Kobe, still only 24. But it wasn't enough. He wanted to break records, to own the conversation. Team USA saw it up close. In Beijing, 2008, players like LeBron and Wade arrived to the gym at 6 a.m., only to find Kobe leaving, dripping in sweat, workout already done. He's not normal, they said. They were right. He didn't want to beat you. He wanted to bury you, because Kobe knew the greats don't just play. They prepare like maniacs. But even icons bleed. After Shaq left, the spotlight grew colder. The team fell apart. So did his public image. The Colorado case made him a villain to many. The endorsements dried up. The cheers turned to boos. He said later, "That year almost broke me." But almost isn't the same as did. He didn't run from the pain. He rebuilt from it. That was when the Black Mamba was born. The Mamba wasn't a nickname. It was armor. He isolated himself. He trained with military intensity. He studied samurai texts, obsessing over discipline, silence, and execution. And then, January 22nd, 2006, Toronto. 81 points, no overtime, just pure dominance. It wasn't basketball, it was vengeance in motion. Back-to-back scoring titles, 50-point streaks, another MVP. He earned back respect, not by asking, but by taking it. Then came 2008, Olympic redemption, a rebranded Team USA led by Kobe. First into the gym, last to leave. And in the gold medal game against Spain, when things got tight, he took over. Because when the lights got hot, the Mamba got hotter. The final evolution was complete. He returned to the top, not with Shaq, but with Pau Gasol, Derek Fisher, Lamar Odom. 2 more rings, one against Orlando, the other, revenge against Boston. Game 7, 2010. He shot poorly, but grabbed 15 rebounds, fought for every loose ball, willed his team across the line. That was Mamba mentality. Even when your shot fails, your fight doesn't. But time is undefeated. Injuries began stacking. Torn ligaments, broken fingers, knees drained before games. And then, April 12th, 2013, the Achilles. He crumpled, grabbed the back of his leg, and then stood up. He limped to the line, knocked down 2 free throws, and walked off like a soldier. No crying, no drama, just ice. That was Kobe. And yet, he came back again and again until one final night, April 13th, 2016. 60 points. In his last game, one last dance. Mamba out. Not goodbye, just mission complete. But Kobe's greatest role wasn't on the court. It was being a father, a mentor, a builder. He poured into his daughters with the same fire he gave to basketball. He coached Gianna's team like it was the NBA, because she wasn't just his daughter, she was his legacy. And when people asked if he missed the game, he said, "No, I gave it everything." Instead, he turned to storytelling, created Dear Basketball, won an Oscar. Of course he did. He launched the Mamba Academy to train the next generation, and not just athletes, leaders. He uplifted women's sports, advocated for equity, and never stopped studying, learning, creating. We got to see a lighter Kobe. More smiles, more jokes, more heart, but that edge, it never left. He just sharpened it so he could pass it on. Kobe didn't just play for the Lakers. He played for everyone chasing something bigger than themselves. He became the patron saint of the underdog, the perfectionist, the relentless. Ask Naomi Osaka what inspired her work ethic. Ask Jason Tatum where he got that fadeaway. Ask Devin Booker why he wears number 8 and number 24 in his shoes. They'll tell you Kobe lit the fire. From NBA All-Stars to high school kids in Manila, from street courts in Lagos to Olympic podiums in Tokyo, his impact rippled across every border. Because he didn't just show us how to play, he showed us how to live with purpose, to keep going through injury, to outwork every excuse, to never settle. And it wasn't just athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, soldiers, parents. Everyone found something in Kobe's mindset. He made excellence feel possible, not just for the gifted, but for the obsessed. He redefined greatness as something earned, not inherited. And maybe that's why we grieved so hard, because we didn't just lose a player, we lost a mirror. He reminded us who we could be if we dared to be all in. January 26, 2020, the world stopped. The man who felt indestructible was suddenly gone. 9 lives lost, 1 world forever changed. And as the news broke, something strange happened. Cities stood still. Arenas went silent. Even people who had never watched basketball felt the loss. Why? Because Kobe wasn't just an athlete. He was an idea. That greatness is earned. That excellence has no shortcuts. That you can fail, fall, and still come back swinging. We saw ourselves in him. The insecure teenager, the perfectionist adult, the dad trying to do right by his daughter. He lived his life like every moment mattered. And maybe that's what hurt the most. We thought he had so many more left, but maybe he gave us enough, because the true measure of a life is not how long it lasts, but how deeply it moves others. And in that way, Kobe never left. He's in every early morning grind, every rehab session, every comeback, every person who chooses obsession over comfort. He's in you if you dare to demand more from yourself. If you've ever doubted yourself, let Kobe remind you. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up anyway. If you've ever felt like giving up, remember, he shot free throws on a torn Achilles. He dropped 60 with 37 years of mileage. If you've ever wondered if it's worth it, ask yourself, would the Mamba quit here or go one more round? Share this with someone chasing greatness, a friend, a teammate, your younger self. And most of all, live it. Wake up early, study harder, train longer, love deeper, work like it means something. Because the Mamba mentality isn't a slogan, it's a standard. Kobe may be gone, but the standard, that's eternal. Legends fade, icons pass, but mentality, that's forever.